Conjuring, The Tequila Made Me Do It is the latest... Wait, that is the wrong movie title? The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is the latest supernatural horror sequel entry into the Conjuring film series. This time around it's directed by Michael Chaves, who only recently transitioned to feature filmmaking with The Curse of La Llorona in 2019. Here he's retained lead actors Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga from previous installments, and bringing in others including Rory O'Connor, John Noble, Shannon Cook, Ingrid Bisu, and Ronnie Jean Blevins. The Conjuring 3 features our fictionally depicted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren back in another case, this time based on the trial of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, a murder trial that took place in 1981 Connecticut. The trial itself became known as the Devil Made Me Do It case, hence the film title, in which then 11-year-old David Glatzel claimed becoming host to a demonic possession. During a formal exorcism performed on David, it was further claimed that the demon fled the child's body and took up residence within older brother Arnie. The film then follows our demonologists and the family as they attempt to find out what's truly going on and how to rid the evil that's causing Arnie bodily harm. Honestly, it's always interesting to see a successful horror film turn into a multiple entry franchise. When I first saw Paranormal Activity in 8th grade, I never would have thought that they would have made 5 or more of these. When I first saw The Conjuring in high school, I thought it would be treated as a great standalone supernatural film. And now we have a whole Conjuring universe with prequels, sequels, related spin-offs. All you need is one great horror film because for the most part they don't require expensive budgets and the return on investment is humongous, especially for October releases. They will easily cover the expenses and then some. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent, but my point here is that horror films have a strong knack for becoming franchises off of one hit, and to this date I don't think there's any horror film series where the entire turnout for the entire of its run is good. As you make more and more entries, they progressively get weaker, derivative of previous works, and usually stories begin to get ludicrous for the sake of stretching ideas out. It's the same case with The Conjuring 3. The first Conjuring was an eerie and wonderfully suspenseful flick that gripped a lot of people. The Conjuring 2 attempts to mimic the original style, and to a point it works, but it began relying more on traditional tactics like jump scares and a diminished storytelling aspect. And that was with the same director, James Wan. This third entry is a newcomer director who benefited the doubt, did the best he could with, again, following other Conjuring structures, but really this movie works more as a murder mystery than a horror film. Wilson and Farmiga retained their characters well, and kudos to them for sticking with the Conjuring franchise because I think it could be said now that they're front-of-mind contenders when you think of recent supernatural horror characters. The kid here, Julian Hillard, also has a grandeur performance in the introductory scene. That was the unfortunate highlight of this Conjuring project, with positively squeamish body contortions and a certain believability that gives credence to the true story that they're presenting here. Arnie is alright, nothing crazy, nothing bad, just fits the role per se of a confused and detrimental adolescent. The problem with Conjuring 3 though is the screenplay and the flow of the story. In the previous entries, the factor of not knowing and not seeing what's causing the violence is what's effectively scary. Even with Annabelle's tangible form, she's creepy not only because of her doll looks, but because we don't know what she's doing, what her intentions are, when she'll pop up, how fast she moves, etc. Here, the story incrementally unveils clues, again, almost in a murder mystery fashion, and it paves way to someone that just wants to curse a few people for a demon. I guess. The movie never really even touches on the antagonist's motives. I almost even missed the fact that the daughter is the one doing all of this. That's how little of a minimized role she really plays. And as a scary movie, it's okay. I'll give them this. They're able to create brief moments of engaging tension, and for a few seconds, your mind is able to wander about what's about to happen. But then those tension moments tend to fall short with a jump scare, rather than attempting to create uneasiness throughout our imagination. The use of lighting is strong here, and it sometimes immerses you within the movie, but again, it usually leads into a quick scare or a giant sound effect, and it goes forward. There's much more exposition and information that they're just spoon-feeding you rather than giving room for scenes to build up and spook you. The ending segments are atrocious. They include some happily ever after, I love you segment that just does not belong, and it really leaves you with more gagging than smiling. I guess it was done in an attempt to leave the viewer on a calming note, but for a majority of the movie, you're calm and collected, so all in all, it's as expected. Conjuring 3 is the weakest out of the standalone trilogy. I give it a firm 5. Minus Wilson and Farmiga's focused performances and a few great tension-driven scenes, I think this franchise is running its course. If you've seen the other entries, check this one out, but if you haven't or you're catching up, it's not really that worth it. Until next time, guys,